Hello, once again, a very warm welcome to this course on pricing models. Now, where are we? We completed the first five pricing models. Now, let's get into the sixth one, outcome based pricing model. In fact, I like this model a lot. Why? Because it is totally different than the previous models what you have seen, and it has totally different type of challenges. Okay, very interesting one. Let us see that. Okay, so what is outcome-based pricing model? Very high level, as the name itself suggests, it is a pricing model which depends upon the outcome achievement. Okay, not just delivering some output. Okay, you need to develop a piece of software, you write the program and deliver it to the customer. It is just output. You need to provide a consultancy report to understand customer requirement and provide a report. Is just an output, right? So there's a difference between output and outcome. Okay, we'll understand more as you get into this model. So this model, very high level, is dependent upon the outcome achieved. So this is the structure of this outcome based pricing model. It has 15 points, very lengthy one. As you see here, the most preferred pricing model by customers in today's digital world. Okay, so that is the importance of this model. So that's why it has a lot many points we are going to discuss. So very high level, let me explain. Introduction to this outcome based pricing. There are 6 points which provide a detailed introduction about outcome based pricing. So this specific video, we are in point number 1. Okay, we'll see what is outcome based pricing. Okay, then we'll go to other points. So after this, there are 3 categories. Okay, category 1, category 2 and category 3, right? So all the outcome based pricing models, they belong to one of these 3 categories. Okay, so then we'll discuss about individual categories with some case studies, examples, computations, right? So that's what actually these 3 sections about. Fine. So overall, very complex and high demand pricing model. So I'm sure this will be one more very interesting one for you. Fine. Now let's get into point number 1. What exactly is outcome based pricing? Okay, so anybody would like to answer what is your understanding about outcome based pricing model? So maybe you can pause the video and answer to yourself, because it's an online course. Sorry. Anyway, so let me show a couple of definitions here. What outcome based, a modern pricing model. People call it a modern because this more applicable in today's digital context, right? Pricing model, it doesn't mean that it was not there earlier. It was there, but it is much more now. That's what is the meaning. A modern pricing model where customers agree to pay the service provider only after agreed business outcomes are achieved through the service provider solution. Okay, so only after agreed business outcomes are achieved on the ground, then only customer would pay. Okay, very high level. So same thing is a different way of putting this. A pricing model where customers are billed based on the outcomes or results achieved for using the product or service. So you develop a product or service and the customer use that and they should achieve the outcome, planned outcome. Rather than, customer would pay for that in that case, rather than the products or service themselves, right? Instead of just paying for the product or service, they are paying only when that product or service achieve planned outcomes, right? Broadly, this is what actually the meaning. So here, service provider has to put their skin in the game, right? So unlike other pricing models, this is much more complex, much more severe in terms of the kind of contractual terms and conditions agreed in this pricing model. Okay, now let's look at this model with a small example. Suppose there is an insurance company, you need to develop a mobile app for them to improve their retail sales, right? So people should use the app and they should get a complete details. App should be more intuitive, all the details as provided by the customer, and this app should help the customer in improving their retail sales, right? So in this case, customer says their current per quarter improves, revenues were 5 millions. They would like to achieve 7 million per quarter. That's what actually their requirement. Okay. Now, let us look at in a conventional, typical fixed price kind of engagement, how this would be handled, right? So you thoroughly understand the business. Suppose is assigned to you as a typical conventional fixed price model, right? So you thoroughly understand the business problem, conceive a right solution, and design a perfect system, right? And develop the system, do all the software development, test the system by yourself and as well as the customer thoroughly, right? And finally you implement the system, right? So at this stage, customer would pay a complete amount to you as a service provider, and then you leave the final implementation to the customer, and your role is over as a service provider, right? So this is a typical way. But in case of outcome based pricing model, there is one more step, right? That is what actually is this, right? Improve retail sales by around 20% in a quarter from 5 million to 7 million. So your job is not over just by providing implementation support or warranty support, right? You are also there with the customer till it's implemented successfully on the ground, and you measure the actual quarterly sales improve from 5 million to 7 million, right? So you have to work along with the customer, take part in that successful implementation and yielding the planned business outcomes. Okay, so then only customer would pay your professional fee, some component or that has to be agreed with the customer, right? Only after achieving the planned outcomes, right? So that's the difference. So until point number 6 is is a common, but this is the additional responsibility, right? So that's very high level. So in this case, you need to work along with the customer till the complete implementation and achieve the results. So for that, you have to take care of your solution development in such a way that it actually delivers on the ground, right? So that's what actually is the challenge, what you need to take. That's the reason why we said service provider has to put their skin in the game, right? So this is what is outcome based pricing, right? So very high level. Now let's understand a bit more about this model in the next videos. See you in the next video.